Hello, today is the 25th of January 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, make our predictions, and it's the weekend, so we'll take a look at the longer term picture. Please stop the video and read my disclaimer. Stop the video, read about the MEJT system. Well, on Friday, we were looking for the pattern with the early high, and we certainly got that. The pattern on Monday should have the early low. These are the patterns we should see next week. 31st of January, with a leeway of a few days, is a Woodson turn date. It's his system, it's not mine. They've been pretty good recently. We looked for a commonest thing to be a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. So we gapped and promptly moved outside the day's range. We got that. We said if we followed through, we could just keep on going higher. That didn't happen. We said if we gapped under this low, we should correct, and that didn't happen either, so neither of those ifs happened. During the day, MEJT said this drop was false, it wouldn't stick, so this rally was false, it wouldn't stick. That's already played out. We had an ultimate buy signal. We got the minimum right here. Almost always you're going to get more at some time, so almost always you're going to overtake this high at some point. We had a lower target. It did print, but the system said it wouldn't stick. It didn't. We retraced to this line, so that's already played out. Let's take a look at the longer term picture, then we'll hone in on where we are. We completed a huge ABC. This low should hold probably forever, and we think we're going to go to 69.97.87, just under 7,000. Before we're all through. We do have resistance close to where we are at 61.55.67, so if we're at that number around Woodson's date, we'd look for resistance. I don't think it'll amount to much, but that's the number to look for. We still are banging up against this trend line here. We thought this could be a complete pattern for wave one. We don't know at this point if this is the end of wave one or if we're in a third wave of multiple degree. Regardless of which it is, I can't count this wave as complete. The fibs don't work. The sentiment indicators I watch are now indicating that we're going higher, probably much higher. I think any pullback here is going to be a minor pullback, which doesn't mean we won't have one. We gapped up, hit a new high, closed under these highs, closed under these highs. If it's maintained at the open, it's a negative pattern. The wall into the close just went into the resistance area from this pattern. It just hit resistance in the wall. All these argue for gapping down on Monday. They certainly aren't a guarantee. And again, I think pullbacks here are used for going long. I'm not too anxious about trading the short side at this point. I think we made a significant low maybe 2 weeks ago, and that's too soon for me to think about shorting without a very close stop. So all these argue for gapping down at the open on Monday, but they certainly don't guarantee it. There's support at and just under 6,077.34. I'd like to see that print. There's stronger support at the old FOMC. I'll say strong support. This is strong support, and there's strong support at 6,061.47, which is the December FOMC announcement price. So if we're anywhere in this area by the open, I think it's a reasonable long entry, and if we trade too much under 6,061.47, you could use it as a stop. I think longer-term investors could just stay long, because I can't count this rally as being over. And if you have a longer-term perspective, I think any long entry is going to pay off. Monday's pattern has the early low regardless of where we open. Typically it's a rally day with a final hour high, but if it's weak, we should see more weakness. The move to a new all-time high was followed by a negative close, undercutting prior highs, and if maintained at the open, it should lead to lower prices. That doesn't mean that we close lower. I can't count the present rally as complete. The sentiment indicators I follow now argue any pullback here is going to be minor. We'll overcome it eventually. The ideal situation is to print the 6,077.34 target, find support at or under that level, and then rally. I think we have support here. I think that we've just completed a significant low. We've broken out to new all-time highs. There are divergences here which I don't like, but with the sentiment indicators and the breakout, I think this rally's not over yet, even if we pull back soon. So it's the pattern with the early low. We have a possible change in trend and date around Friday. We have a possible price for that around 61.55, which isn't really that much higher than where we are now, but if we're down here, certainly should be worth playing, and that's today's call.